chefs seem to like that one, but you have to wait to the end of the show to find out which one she's going to get. Now, if you'd like to ask a question to either our chefs today, you can do that by calling this number. That's 0330 123 1410. That's 0330 123 1410. And a few of you will put your questions to us live a little later on. And if I do get to speak to you, then I'll be asking you whether you want Melanie Space food heaven or food hell. Now, you can also get involved on the show through social media now. Send us your comments and questions using #SaturdayKitchen. Right, you hungry?
Starving.
Sounds pretty good to me. Let's get cooking. Here's the magnificent Mexican Fernando Stovell. Welcome back, Fernando.
Thank you very much.
And it's always unusual you bring not just ingredients, but gadgets. We're going to get onto the gadget in a minute, but
sure.
Tell us what we're going to cook first.
Pozole itself, which is a very Mexican traditional dish, has always hominy, which is a type of corn.
Which is this?
Correct. Then always pozole has radishes, has lettuce. We rather prefer using Chinese lettuce.
Okay.
And then because we want to mix one and the other one, we decided to put the grits. Now, grits, all what it is you get two different types of corns, which is the white and the yellow. It's dried, and in the olden days...
Now, what do you do with that?
Well, in the olden days, obviously the indigenous used to actually grind very, very finely this corn to be able to get...
On that?
Correct.
What is that?
It's like a very, very old-fashioned blender from maybe 1,000 years ago, and they used to grind obviously the corn.
It looks like volcanic
It's volcanic
rock,
rock, very similar to the pestle and mortar that I've used on the show before. Okay. Anyway, if you don't mind, if you can actually grill the Chinese lettuce. In the meantime, I'm going to start cooking the grits. Now, grits is very, very similar to cooking any pulse dishes, like, for example, a good risotto or a good polenta, wet polenta. So if you cannot get hold of, obviously, the grits themselves, good advice is just use the polenta. Now, with the grits, it takes good 40 to 45 minutes to cook them. Okay. And obviously, we don't have the time to get them done. What you want with grits, you want them to have them really, really nice and fluffy. Okay. And a good flavour all around it.
So where can people buy this from? Sorry about that.
The hominy, you can buy it on a lot of online shops.
Does that come in a tin? Or
it usually does. You can actually buy it dry, and you can actually soak it overnight, and then cook them like you usually cook pulse dishes.
Yeah. Have you seen it before? Or
no, new one on me.
I've never seen this before. Yeah. No, you can just eat this like this. It's not going to make our guests keel over.
No. It's actually blanched and cooked in stock.
And the one you grind, you do that.
It's dried. They usually dry them in the sun, and we can dry it.
We can do it at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather's been great, so it's been good. And it usually takes good 24 hours.
Yeah. So you're making the grits part then?
Correct. So you basically chop all the onions. I usually like using half an onion. You caramelize the onions a little bit. Just put a little bit of garlic as well.
Right, now I've got the radishes, which we basically just thinly slice in.
Correct. Just what you want on this dish is a little bit of freshness, so you just put them on ice, and they curl up really nicely on the plate, and it gives a really nice flavour and texture into it.
So they're just basically thinly sliced. Yep.
I'm gonna just obviously pretend that we're cooking fully the grits. One of the biggest tricks with grits and polenta and this type of ingredients is to actually let them, you stir and stir and stir continuously.
This is where you get the idea of risotto from, is it?
Exactly. And you have to rest it as well. A little bit of turmeric to actually get the colour going.
Yeah.
And you just continue stirring.
Now, you want me to...
Is this dish on the menu at the restaurant at the moment?
Sorry, chef?
Is it on the menu?
Yes, it is. We actually started this dish 2 months ago. And it's very popular. Scallops have always been very popular anyway. Yeah. But because of weather, obviously this applies to the weather because it's corn, it's a summery dish. It seems to be very popular.
But it's not just the restaurant you're into now. I believe you've got your own distillery in the restaurant. Is that right?
Yeah, we're very proud. It's a project that's taken us quite a while. It's taken us 2.5 years. And this project is being created by a very good friend of mine who works with us. He's our bar manager called Gian. And Christy and myself, we joined on producing it. And we can very proudly say that we launched the gin in April. And we had a few awards recently. And we're using 17 different botanicals, and they're all... there's 98% of British botanicals, and they're all foraged. Unfortunately, we can get certain ingredients 100% in Britain.
So you're making your own gin?
Amazing.
Correct. Yeah.
Keep that away from the chefs, eh?
Yeah.
Well, there's got a little moonshine business down the job of there.
There's been a lot of tastings
as well.
There's been a lot of tastings, that's for sure. But
do you cook with it as well?
Yeah, we do. We actually do 2 dishes. One is on the tasting menu. It's the first dish that you get on the menu, and It's just like a little ice ball with gin and tonic and some of the garnish that we put, a little bit of angelica, candied angelica.
Just to recap what you've got in there then. So this is the grits. What have you done with that? What's in there?
I put the shallot, the onions, I put the garlic, caramelized a little bit the turmeric, just to release the sort of natural oils.
And you can explain what I've got cooking on here.
Yes, you've got a pork jowl, and what we usually do is we cook it at work, we cure it, then then obviously we braise it.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is just to get that sort of char flavour in it.
You've definitely got the charred flavour now, yeah? I didn't want that to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Carry on.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Iberico.
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine.
That's why it's got a lot of
As if it's not hot enough in this studio anyway, so...
Sorry.
It's me doing the barbecue.
Right.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
The next thing that I'm going to be doing is the scallops and the prawns. Yeah. Scallops take less time to cook than the prawns. The prawns are quite large. So
it just proves we're live, doesn't it?
As soon as that gets hot enough...
Carry on, nobody's noticed.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. You don't mind it being a bit charred more than it was in rehearsal, do you?
Right. The scallops. Scallops, I always like to put them in the fridge. So we shuck them.
Yeah.
We wash them, we pat dry them. And what we usually like doing with these guys is they have to be very dry. I don't know if you can see the texture, very, very dry sort of texture.
I'm going to put that on as well.
What we usually do with this is we wait maybe a couple of hours to be able to cook them.
Let them dry out.
That'll be fine.
Supposed to read the autocue at this point, but anyway.
That'll be fine.
First day back, it just proves the point, doesn't it? Remember, if you'd like to put your questions through either our yesterday, you can call us now on this number, which I can't see, but it's at the bottom of your screen anyway. There you go.
Right.
Right.
So, the scallops.
We're nearly there.
Yeah, scallops usually take probably a minute on each side to cook. And it has to be dry. Just massage it with a little bit of oil. And you just caramelize them nicely. And you can just finish seasoning it. The biggest trick for the scallops is when you turn them around, obviously a little bit of caramelization stay on the base, so putting a little bit of butter.
So is it like polenta when you cook it, you've got to leave it and then add more ingredients to it?
Correct.
Is that the key?
Correct.
Because you find with polenta, you've got to kind of leave it. If you finish it off, it basically sucks up even more, don't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So
where does the cream come in?
The cream comes almost at the end when it's already almost at that sort of fluffy texture. You just start adding little by little. Correct.
Okay.
So we just finish the dish. A little bit of butter, a little bit of lemon juice.
Yep.
Just going to split like this.
I was wondering, scallops, do they have seasons where you can get them? I'm a bit ignorant as far as...
You can do.
Or can you get them year round? Or?
You can get them all year round, but for me, probably best time of the year, it will be, what would you say, probably September, October.
Right.
The weather gets a little bit colder and gets a little bit better. I personally like Scottish scallops. But again, all scallops around are really, really good. Chef, do you mind peeling these prawns?
There you go.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, you want me to peel this while it's still hot, do you?
Correct, yes, please.
Thanks.
And maybe this one as well, so we can share it later.
That's a comedy job right there, James.
Do you mind peeling that?
No, it's all right. Not going to set fire to myself. I'm just burning my fingers now, yeah.
Do you always cook the prawns in the shell, Fernando? You always do that, do you?
It's best to cook them on the shell. Reason being is obviously even more flavors. When you caramelize them, the flavors are much nicer on that.
Very nice.
So, whilst you are peeling, sorry, Chef.
I thought you just did it to make James look silly when doing his...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You better eat this after this. I know it's your food hell, but anyway.
Right.
So, starting you off go on, carry on.
Now it's time to plate, which is pretty straightforward. This is the grits like a final product. You just squeeze a little bit of the grits on the side. We use a spatula. And we start building up the dish.
Is that hot or cold?
I beg your pardon?
Is it hot or cold?
It's hot. I can tell you it's hot.
No, the grits, we usually have them at work on the bain-marie, so it maintains really nice and hot. And then we just start building up the Chinese
charred lettuce.
Chinese cabbage. Sorry, I'm just going to drain them here. And we need to trim a little bit of the fat of the pork.
So you've changed. The first time you came on, you used your fingers. Now it's all tweezers.
No, it's much easier, actually. I use my fingers. I'll leave them there. So we just start building up the scallops all around. And then important ingredients we need to put.
The scallop?
The prawn. Thank you. Have you got the base? Thank you so much.
And then this.
And very important ingredients. Obviously, we use a hominy that goes all the way around. gives a really nice sort of tortilla flavour. It's got a really nice maize flavour behind it.
There's your
a little bit of
radishes.
crispiness of the radishes, so you just get a bit of a crunch texture in there. And for me, probably one of the most favourite ingredients that we use at work, this is called stone crop. Obviously, it's not easy to
you can actually
find.
grow it at home, though, can't you?
We are growing it at the restaurant. It's really, really good. They usually grow in like rocks and things like that. And this is my favorite ingredient. It's Mexican oregano. Very different to the oregano that we all know. It's more earthy in terms of flavor, and really, really good. And just for aesthetics, to make it look a little bit more presentable, we like to put borage flowers.
So give us the name of this dish then, when we finish this
Okay, it's pan-fried scallops with grits, a little bit of hominy and pork chow.
That's what it is.
And this is ready.
It looks very pretty.
Thank you.
I know it's part of your food hell, but you can taste the little...
Wow, it looks gorgeous.
It looks very pretty, doesn't it?
That's the work of art.
Thank you.
You wanted too many people to order that in the restaurant all in one
You
go.
would be in trouble, wouldn't you?
But dive in, tell us what you think. But those grits, really, is that...
It's delicious.
Yeah, it is nice. And these are quite unusual, I think. These
Yeah,
are
the hominy is very tasty. Yeah.
full of flavour.
Yeah.
There you go. Right, let's go
Really
get some
nice.
wine to go with this. With tennis fever has gripped the nation, including our wine expert, Susie Barry. She's been out on court and into the sunshine before picking this week's wines. But which did she choose to go with Fernando's Super Scallops?
It's Wimbledon fortnight, and so I've come to the world's first lawn tennis club, founded in 1872. But I'm not in Wimbledon. I'm in Leamington Spa. Anyone for tennis? Right, time to serve up some match-winning wines. The great thing about Fernando's innovative dish of caramelised scallops, shrimp and grits and pork jowl is that it's incredibly white wine friendly, and I knew I wasn't going to struggle to find a match. So it was more a question of finding the perfect match. And after opening several different bottles, it soon became clear that this is ideally a Sauvignon Blanc dish. And this classic and elegant Puy Fumé was a very good match. But there's a lot of flavour in Fernando's recipe, and it really needs a punchier wine with more upfront ripe fruit. And so I've gone for a New World wine. It's the LFE Selection de Familia Sauvignon Blanc, which is not only tangy and delicious, it's also amazing value for money. So this wine is from Chile's Lleida Valley, just a stone's throw from the Pacific, and its intense green pea pod and asparagus flavour that suit Fernando's dish so well are very typical of the region. Oh, that's a lovely combination of fruity and smoky. And it's that smokiness, along with very lively acidity, that works so beautifully with the caramelised scallops and the prawns. And that acidity also cuts through the richness of the creamy grits and balances the soft texture of the hominy. And then the vibrant gooseberry fruit and green vegetal character of the wine picks up brilliantly on the charred cabbage and provides a lovely contrast for that salty pork. Fernando, I'm sure we've all tasted Chilean Sauvignon Blanc before, but not with your dish, which takes it to a whole new level, and it's an experience not to be missed. Cheers.
It certainly is, and I've set the fire alarms off. They're going off in the background. What do you think of this?
I really like it. Very crisp, very, very well balanced for the dish.
Yeah, I think it's a great combination. Don't you?
The value as well.
Yeah, really
Lovely
fresh.
for the weather. Yeah,
It's lovely for it, and a bargain, I think, of £5.75. Absolute bargain. There you go. Coming up, Adam has a recipe using a slightly different cut of lamb and jag grill as well. Go on, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to make another fire with a butterfly rump of lamb, salsa verde, a lovely heirloom tomato salad, and some toasted couscous.
That's what we're
Really
going to do.
simple, lovely.
And don't forget, you could ask either our chefs a question. If you call this number now, that's 0330 123 1410. That's 0330 123 1410. You can tweet our questions now using hashtag Saturday Kitchen. Right, the show wouldn't be complete without our weekly portion of the great Mr. Rick Stein. Now, he did a brilliant job last week hosting, and now it's time to head to Cornwall for another one of his fishy adventures. Today, he's having a clam bake, but Rick seems to be chucking in a whole host of fish and seafood. Your idea of food hell, to be honest. But there you go. Let's see how it turned out.